Hi guys, karibuni sana to my YouTube channel. This is Gladys Mwai and I am here
just to say that.
I didn't know it would be hard.
It is not easy.
Oh my god. Hi guys, this is Gladys Mwai. Karibuni sana to my YouTube channel. This is my first time doing this, so I feel a bit nervous, but I know that the Lord will give me the strength that I need so that we can have an awesome time. I have always longed to do this, and I thank God for giving me the opportunity just to interact with you and just to tell you more about who is Gladys Mwai. So I am married, yes, to one man called Mwai Mokona, tokea pale Murang'a, Kagema. And the Lord has been gracious to us for the last 8 years that we have been together. God has blessed us with two very, very handsome boys. One is called Uhuru Mwai and another one Jabali. They are, the firstborn is 7 years, the secondborn is 2.5 thereabout. And we really are grateful to God for what He has been doing in our lives. And yes, that is it. So the job that I do, I'm currently doing music full-time. I'm a worship minister, a full-time gospel worship minister. That is what I do when I wake up. Every minute of my life, that is what I think about. You know, I write, I'm a songwriter, I record, but I would probably say I got myself into doing music full-time. I was working, I've been into business for many years until I got to a point where I told God I now want to do that one thing that I have always desired to do with all my heart. Actually, maybe to mention, before I got into music full-time, I was working for one of the companies I would say that many people look to work in. You know, zile kampuni kila mtu sema anaweza taka kufanya job hapo. And it got to a point I just told God, I know you gave me a good job, but I have to follow my passion. I just want to follow my passion. I want to follow my desire. And it was funny because sometimes niko job, then when we are working, we would put music. There were screens all over to make a music all over. Sometimes we would say tuwekeni gospel. And I'm there working, but naona musician flani napenda ame-release song mpya. Sometimes I would cry and start asking myself, where did I go wrong? Why am I not in what I love to do? I wish it would be me, you know, just putting myself into the music that I have always desired to do. So yes, so I am so fulfilled right now that I am doing music full-time, na ninasikianga niko na furaha sana kwa my heart because God amenipatia hii opportunity na amenipatia a family that supports me in my passion. And yes, that is it. So where was I born? I was born in Nairobi, Isili to be precise. Nilizaliwa Pumwani Hospital many years ago. Sitake kujua ni ngapi, but ni mob. And I started my schooling in Isili bado. For those who know Isili, there is a school called St. Teresa's Girls. Yes, that was where I started my schooling for my first years in school. Na tuliishi Isili for a very long time. So yes, I have been born and raised in the city. But later on in life, we moved from the city to Thika, and then later we came back to the city. It was a roller coaster for us. My roots is not Nairobi. Mimi nimetoka mahali kunaitwa Nyere, Mokoroini. Kwa wale wanajua Nyeri, kuna mahali kunaitwa Mokoroini. That is where my parents have come from. Alafu, I got married the neighboring hills of Murang'a, Kagema. That is where my husband comes from. So it is right for me to say I'm from Murang'a, Kagema. Yes, that is how we do it from where I come from. Immediately you get married, you start identifying yourself with where you went. So anyway, yeah, that is so much of my origin. I have 3 wonderful brothers. Na mimi ndio firstborn kwetu. Then I have a brother called Robert, another one called Mike, and another one called Baraka. Those are my siblings. And of course, God blessed me with many other siblings who are now my in-laws. And I love all my siblings so much. I love my parents in love, and also my parents, my biological parents. They have been very instrumental in my life. And therefore, because I know they will watch this, I appreciate you guys na ninawapenda sana sana sana. So, Gladys Mwai aliokoka lini? Mimi niliokoka kitambo. Niliokoka nikiwa a very small girl. I used to love God, but because I was young, I probably didn't know how to express it. Would you imagine, at some point, my parents were not taking me to church. Tukiishi Isili, sometimes we would go to church, sometimes we don't go. And when we went to church, we would go to PCA, St. Joseph's. Uko chini Isili. So saa zingine hatuendi. The days we don't go, I would feel really, really bad. And hapo Isili mlango kulikuwa na kanisa ya Wakorino. Nakwambia nilikuwa nenda hapo nakaa before church ianze. Because mostly church ya Wakorino, it starts in the afternoon. Walikuwa wananipata hapo kwa hizo form, nimekaa chini na ngoja waanze. I was so, nilikuwa na desire ya God. I used to tell my parents, kama hamngeanza kunipeleka church, mngepata nishafungua kireba, kwa sababu nilikuwa napenda Yesu sana. But I think God saw my desire, and soon after, yani before long, before nifungwe hiyo kireba, my mom and my dad got born again. So we started going to church. A church called Crisco in the city, hapo Tao, Nairobi Cinema. So tukaanza kwenda hapo, of course naenda Sunday school. Then one day after Sunday school, or rather venye tunamaliza Sunday school, mwalimu akasema, I still remember, I don't remember her name, but I remember she asked, and who would want to give their life to Jesus? And I lifted my hand. She called me, she prayed for me, and I gave my life to Christ. I was about 9 years. I didn't understand what it meant, but I had this strong desire for God. So I got born again when I was 9. And by the funny thing, watoi uokoka mara mob. But naelewa it's because they don't understand exactly kuokoka ni nini until later years. So sometimes after niliombewa kwa Sunday school, later tukaenda na Mother Crusade ya Teresia Werimo, Fem, Evangelist. Tena nikaokoka. Watu waliitwa wenye wanataka kuokoka nikatokea. I was so, what will I say? I had a desire for God that today when I look back, I'm like, God, you are following me all this time. And I love Jesus for that, for saving me when I was so young, because you can be sure it is such a blessing just to know God, especially when you're a young child. So, and the journey has been good. I will not say the journey has been smooth, but the journey has been good. I have seen the faithfulness of God. I have seen God, expand me, especially my heart and my knowledge of Him. Many times when we give our lives to Jesus, tunatakanga tu kila kitu iende shwari, kila kitu iende smooth. When things are not going okay, tunasema, naona nikaa God ameniachanisha, hata kwa nini niliokoka. But let me tell you, in those very issues and hizo mashida wase upitia when you give your life to Jesus, anakuanga ni kazi anakufanyia. Because there's a preacher who said something that caught my eye. When God anajua wewe ni asset kwa kingdom, He has to invest in you. And how will He invest in you? It's not, when things are going smoothly, it's not easy for God to kukutengeneza. And that is where tukisoma kwa Bible, many people God ever used, alipopasa anawapitisha kwa wilderness, including Jesus, so that by the time you get out of it, utakuwa uko something else. So yeah, the journey has been ups and downs. At one time I asked God, why do you like doing experiments with me? Whatever that means. I know God understood my frustration, because I was like, why do I have to be the one who always goes through things, the one who passes through the rivers, the waters, hard things? And as I said, I will probably have another time to share with you more on that. But my journey has been good. It has been a journey of growth. I have really grown in my knowledge of God. I wouldn't say get saved alafu kesho nishajua everything, hapana. It has been a journey after a journey. And yeah, I love God for that. So, nimesema I went to St. Teresa's Girls in Isili. That's where I began my school. And then later when we moved, I went to a school in Thika inaitwa Goodwish Primary School. Kwa wale wanajua Thika. And then nikiwa hapo, that is where I did my class 8. And I managed to get my self a place at Mugoiri Girls High School in Murang'a, Kahuro. That is where I did my secondary school education for 4 years. And Mugoiri Girls it has a mark in my life, because it is when I was there that God ni kama alilipua what was inside me, especially musically. Because it is one thing to know you have a gift, but it is another thing to just put it into practice, or to even believe it and push it to a certain level. So nikiwa Mugoiri, that is where I realized, by the way, I have a talent or I have a gift, and God would want to use me through this gift. But when I was 10, one time we had an event in our school. This is usually a very remarkable what? Nikitumi ukumbuka sana. Because tulikuwa na event. It was like, I think, a prize giving day. And I told the teacher, I want you to give me an opportunity to sing during this event. And it was a very big event with very nice sound system. I can remember. Na ilikuwa museum. Upper museum, I don't know what hall, but it was a very well organized event. So the teacher said, are you sure about this? I said, yes, I'm sure. And the teacher gave me an opportunity. So venye nilipewa iyo mic, it was awesome. Yani iyo mic ilikuwa, I think that for me iliniguza. I was like, guy, hii mic inaimba vizuri. And I sang a worship song. I sang, this was my favorite then. As the deer panteth for the water, so my soul longeth after thee. And you alone are my heart's desire, and I long to worship you. I was only 10. And after that, people clapped while he picked up a coffee. You know, it's like the whole building came down. Alafu, almost half of the population were Hindus, because the school I was in ilikuwa bado na Wahindi hapa na pale. That's when I realized, gosh, kumbe I can sing. And everybody else kept telling me, you have a good voice, you sang so well. And now from there, I started encouraging myself to always sing when I got opportunities. But it was when I was in Mugoiri Girls that I got the real deal, you know, the real opportunity. In this school, those who can remember those years when you were walisomea huko, we had a group. This group was, hiyo ndo kitu kila mtu alikuwa anatamani aingie kwa hiyo singing group. Ilikuwa inaitwa Pentatoes. Pentatoes was a group ya 5 people only. At any time it would only have 5. So for moja kama kwa hiyo team akitoka ni wanapata opportunity ya kuleta mtu mwingine kujaza hiyo gap. And they would take the cream, you know. So this one time, I have a friend of mine that I will never fail to mention, anaitwa Monica. So Monica had me, I think she had me singing, or I told her I can sing. So she pushed me, asked for an opportunity to sing at the CU. So I asked for an opportunity, and when I sang, people were very excited. So she went to the leader of that team. So to go from one. Akaenda akasema mimi niko na beshte yangu na anaweza imba. Huyu anafaa kukua kwa hii team. Please, ukitoka mtu mwenye ako form 4 akitoka umweke. So of course they wakani interview akina Beth Mbatia and another lady alikuwa anaitwa Mariku, au ndo walinifanyia interview na nikapita interview, so nikaekwa kwa group, singing group inaitwa Pentatos. And now from there I started growing my soprano voice then, because that's the opportunity I got. I would sing soprano and we did so well, and because of being in that group you had to be a well-mannered person. You know, you can't be in such a maseleb wa shule alafu. So because of that, you would find yourself either becoming a prefect or a leader in the CU. So I ended up being the choir mistress, and eventually I became the CU chair lady. Hallelujah. And of course I became the prefect of our dormitory. Favors kibao zikianza kukufuata kwa sababu ya Yesu. And I thank God, because it is when I was in that school that my spiritual muscle was built to some extent. Nikaanza desire to pray. There was a vibrant intercessory team led by one Grace Kiroko, and I joined the team. I started learning how to pray and how to be serious in matters to do with God. And yeah, that was it. So when I was in Mogweri Girls, I remember I used to prophesy a lot about my life. And I remember I would say, nikimaliza shule ninaenda kukua msanii, or rather ninaenda kukua musician, ninaenda kukua minister of the gospel through worship music. I would say that so many times. Those days in South Africa there was an award. I think it was a music award, it was Kora Awards, and I would tell people next year a time like this nitakuwa hiyo Kora Awards, mtanisikia nimeenda hadi. Anyway, I thank God, but that is how my music desire and gift was grown. But of course after school so many things happened. One, I didn't have money. I didn't know that to record I needed money, na sikuwa nayo, sikuwa na do, sikuwa na job. So ikakani kama my musical whatever, even kama imekuwa cut short. It's like I can't do much, but it was still within my heart. So yes, that was it. I have said how my musical journey started up to that point, but at what point did I start recording? I waited for long. And there is one person who is siwezi kosa kumention kwa muziki yangu, because God alimtumia, and that is one person called Mwai, my husband. Hey, Mungu akubariki, man of God, ulitumika. Na nakupenda sana kwa sababu wewe ni destiny helper kwa maisha yangu. So after college, at one time we met with my husband and we started dating. Story for another day. We met in high school.
Yes, my husband and I met in high school, but that is story for another day.
I have to give you that story. So then tukakosa kuonana for a long time, then we tukamit tena after like 7 years in town, Odeon. Odeon is a very remarkable place in my life. Siwezi sahau hiyo point, because that is where we met again after many years. So, and boom, now when we were dating, I told my husband I desire to sing. I had started recording. I had done a small recording, which haiku. My youth leader, and God bless you, he's called Charles Jenga. At that time we were living in Githurai and fellowshipping at Crisco Githurai. So my youth leader took me to a studio in South Sea and I recorded. So he exposed me to that recording studio, studio setup. And God bless you for that, man of God. I am really honored. And so after recording that one song, I didn't do much. So when we met with Mwai, I told him, by the way, I had started doing my recordings some while ago, and this is how far I went. So he asked me, would you want to continue? I said, yes, of course I would. It's just that I don't have finances. He also didn't have money, but he said, I will support you as far as I can, and I want you to go back to studio. We spoke to one producer called Vuma, Brother Vuma Jamie, ako pale, sahi squeeze ako pale, I think I'll move. He used to be at TRM, but then we were recording at Kahawa West. So that is where I went, and I started doing my recordings. Funny enough, songs started flowing. Now, kuna kitu sijataja. How did I start writing? I wasn't born a songwriter per se. Yani, it's not something I used to do. Actually, kitambo, when I would attempt to write a song, I would find myself writing someone's song. Like, nimesikiza song ya Eunice Njeri for long, hiyo song iko kwa mind. So when I try to write, it's the tune, but my own words. You get? So that is not your song practically. So I started praying to God and telling God, please God, nisaidie tu kuandika ka song. Na nilikuwa naambia God, nataka nikuwe naandika songs kama Angela Chibalonza ama Ruth wa Moyo, because nilikuwa nasikia wanaandika songs zinanibless sana. So I kept praying and telling God, please, and trying. I would write those songs, alafu naimbia bro zangu wananiambia, hey, hapana, hiyo si ni song fulani. So ninaiondoa kwa list. So this one time, God gave me a song, and He gave me a chorus. It just, people ask me, how do you get songs? God just drops them into your spirit. And I always say, you know, when God has gifted you, kama sahi, we would wonder how do athletes, yeah? Ukimbiaje, wanaitwa? Athletes. Boy, nimesaidiwa. Athletes, ukimbiaje. Unajua ukitry kukimbia kama si talent yako, kama si kitu God amekuweka, you will faint, my friend. You will. Hatuwezi kimbia, kama mimi siwezi kimbia 500 meters bila kustop. But for them, they run for a whole 2 hours. It's because it's a gift. When it's something, and that is why we are always encouraged. You know that thing that God ameweka ndani yako. Ukijua ni gani, you will never struggle. If today you tell me to draw even a chicken, yeah, I will draw for you things that you have not seen. Because sina hiyo gift ya kuchora, but kuna mtu anachora watu the exact, yani akikaa hivi na picha yako anakuchora, because it's a gift. So even for a musician or a songwriting skill, it's not something you learn from anywhere. It is something that God just puts in you. So I just started doing it pole. And at Vuma's studio, I recorded an entire album. That is where I recorded my first album. Then soon after, remember I said we were dating. So soon after we got married. Venye tuli get married, mimi na kila kitu yangu, we got married. Okay? So hata kuimba nikaiweka kando kwanza. But anyway, soon after I was pregnant, you know, like 3-4 months into our marriage, I had nikapata ball. Alafu I had so many challenges in my pregnancy. Story for another day. So nikachana na story ya kuimba. After delivery, I was sickly for a very long time, for almost like a year or so. So nikacha kuimba, but at some point nika resume. And that is how my musical journey has been. It is such a long story, hata siwezi maliza. But why do I do worship music? Swali lingine nimeulizwa sana. Why worship? For a long time, I couldn't answer that question. But today, I can answer it confidently. I know that when God created me, you know, the Bible says that before you were formed in your mother's womb, I knew you. I know with all my heart, with everything within me, when God was creating me, He wanted a worshiper. That's it. He just longed. In Kikuyu we say, modo wako mudhadhaya. Mudhadhaya is like kubembeleza. So when God formed me, He formed a worshiper. And the other day it hit me, though it's my husband who alinikumbusha, that every time I write songs, my songs are always directed to God. Always. Na najipatanga tu hivyo ndo imekam, na hivyo ndo nitaimba. Because when God formed me in my mom's womb, He formed a worshiper. And therefore, that is who I am. And I don't want to change. I wouldn't want to change it. I want it to remain that way because I know when I'm doing it that way, it is in His purpose. Of course, you would ask, you've never been interested in writing a song that is people think that song ikikuwa fast si worship, hiyo ni worship. But anyway, songs zenye God unipea, ananipeanga zikiwa hivyo. Na vile tu amenipea, I build on it that way, the way amenipea. So if one day He gives me a song that we can dance and jump, I will record it as it comes. Yes, that is it. So my favorite worship music. Why? Something you don't know about me, napenda songs za Kikuyu sana. But sijai record. Okay, niko na song moja nilirecord ya Kikuyu. It's not even anywhere. Why? Kwa sababu nasikia kama nilikuwa naimba Kikuyu Kizungu au Kikuyu Kiswahili. But I don't feel like niko na hiyo neema ya kuandika nyimbo za Kikuyu. Ikikam, by the way, nitaandika. Napenda songs za Ruth wa Moyo sana. Ruth wa Moyo, I look up to her. I have followed her from when I was in high school. And I thank God for my friend, Carol Jack. Mama Njeri. She introduced me to Ruth wa Moyo. I remember we didn't used to have a TV set or a radio, and I would visit her in her house, and she would put for me CDs at Ruth wa Moyo, and she's the one who made me love her, I would say, because she would put them over and over again, and I was like, hey, no mama naimba vizuri. So from then I've been following her music. So one of my favorite worship music that aliwahi andika ni song yenye sikosangi kuimba, inasema Okafafa negwetereire. Okafafa negwetereire. Okafafa negwetereire. And amongst many others, of course. Kuna zingine mingi ameandika poa napenda. So I look up to her so much. I love how she does her things, you know. She loves God. Sijainsikia kwa scandals. And yeah, she's a serious woman of God, and she's someone you would want to look up to. So yes, nimesema my favorite worship, so I have so many. Siwezi sema zote, niko na mingi zingine we will try and maybe play them, but I have many. Every season I have maybe like a song or 2 or 3 zenye nataka kusikiza sana, zenye zinani-inspire. And of course, being in music, I have to make sure that I am up to date, who is singing what, who has released the newest worship song. I love Jacqueline. There's a lady called Jacqueline Carr from the US, a very young lady, but she does powerful worship music. Like there's one she has sung Stay With Me, you know, and there's another one she sang, You're bigger than the universe, bigger than the things we see. Hiyo nampenda sana. Pia napenda Tasha Cobbs, napenda Eunice Njeri. Hao wote huwa wanani-inspire. Evelyn Wanjiru, hao wote wanani-inspire, and so many others. There's another lady anaitwa Rehema Simfukwe from Tanzania doing powerful music. So those are my kind of songs. Hizo ndo song napenda. Maverick City, hao wote. Mtu mwenye tu anaimba wimbo yenye inabariki roho yangu, napenda kumsikiza. Yes, and so why did I start a YouTube channel? So I started a YouTube channel because I use it as a platform to kuweka music yangu nikisha release. And sahizi I'm trying to see how I can also use it to interact with you and maybe to put up my stories out there, is putting up other people's stories. So that is it. It is a wonderful platform, and it is helping us to reach out to more people. It is helping us to minister to people who are all over the world. So I started it basically for that. That was the main reason, just to put up my music so that I can have a point where I can direct my viewers to watch my songs, my videos. And I thank God for the grace. I thank God for these opportunities, and I thank God. Oh, I wanted to mention and say, I always wanted to be a broadcast journalist. Actually, I have a diploma course, but I would say it was never, I don't know, maybe, I don't know why God allowed me to do it, but I have it in my pocket. I always wanted to be that person in front of the camera. Wacha niseme tu kweli. And I thank God that amenipea hii opportunity to be in front of my own camera. Isn't God wonderful? When we were growing up, we all wanted to be, unataka kwenda KBC, NTV, but God has made things easier, and God is expanding people in different ways. So yeah, that was always my dream, and I thank God for this opportunity. So guys, that is Gladys Mwai in a nutshell. Yeah, I have so many more stories to tell about me, and I know these are not just stories. Some of these things that we will discuss here will inspire someone. Kuna mtu atasikiza story ya Gladys Mwai na kuwa encouraged, na kuwa uplifted. Labda alikuwa nafikiria yeye ndo ashaipitia zile vitu mbaya sana, akisikia story yangu ako zile za I haven't even gone through half of what this girl has been through. So yes, keep it here, please, and remember to hit that subscribe button. I'm sure you can see it somewhere on your screen. Hit subscribe and share. Follow me on Facebook, Gladys Mwai the Worshipper, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and let us connect. And make sure you comment, please leave a comment. Wacha tu nijue ulikuwa hapa, hata kama utasema tu hi Gladys, wacha nijue ulikuwa hapa, na God akubless sana. See you next time. Bye bye.